This latest PlayStation Store sale, it is stacked. There is a mountain of AAA hits going cheap, but instead of just rattling off those usual suspects, wanted to dig a little deeper. Now look, sure there are some heavy hitters in here, it'd be criminal not to include them, but I've also picked out a few lesser known gems that deserve a spot in your library. So today, going to be covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. Let's get into it. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favour, subscribe, helps out the channel a huge amount. Alright, Sniper Elite Resistance is first up, 20% off, not a massive discount, but it is a new low for a pretty recent release, and a solid pick if you're after something methodical and bloody. Now if you know the series, you know the deal. Sandbox maps, layered objectives, and that gloriously gruesome X-ray kill cam. Formula, it hasn't changed much, but honestly, that's fine by me. The sniping still feels fantastic, weighty, satisfying and precise, and the level design gives you just enough room to get creative with that approach. Now close quarters combat, still a bit stiff, and there's some roughness here and there, but at long range, it absolutely delivers. Add in then co-op weapon customization and a fresh World War II setting, and yeah, it leans hard into what makes Sniper Elite. You know, it's doing what it does best. You've also then got Axis Invasion for that PvP tension, plus new propaganda missions where you play as the French resistance. So yeah, overall, not reinventing anything, but it doesn't need to. It knows exactly what it is. Terminator Resistance Enhanced is 75% off right now, a new low, and I did review this one on the channel. I'll drop that link below if you want the full breakdown. But the short version, it's a genuine hidden gem. Critics wrote it off at launch, players, myself included, saw something special, and this PS5 edition finally gave it the second chance it deserved. Now this, it isn't just another generic, first-person shooter with a Terminator skin. It gets the universe, the atmosphere, the tone, the threat of the machines. It all just works. The T-800s actually feel dangerous, and there's real tension when you're sneaking through a ruined building with a Skynet patrol nearby. Now the enhanced version then adds smoother performance, DualSense support, and better visuals. So yeah, it's not a technical showcase overall, but it's definitely a solid upgrade. Plus, you get Infiltrator mode, a short, fun bonus that lets you play as a Terminator. So yeah, it's not a massive addition this, but it is still a lot of fun. It's a nice little kind of bonus to a campaign that already does more with the license than most big budget adaptations ever manage. Stellar Blade is 25% off right now, matching its lowest price, and I've got to say this one really surprised me. I figured it'd be a fun, flashy action game, the kind you blast through and then forget a week later, but it's got more depth than I expected. The combat, first of all, tight, stylish, way more punishing than it first lets on. Think fast dodges, perfectly timed parries, big boss fights that demand focus. Then the world is gorgeous too. It's this mix of ruined cities, vast deserts, and strange sci-fi structures, all rendered beautifully on PS5. The story as well, also surprisingly solid. It leans into some classic kind of post-apocalyptic themes, but it's got enough twists and ambiguity to keep things interesting. I even went back to pick up some of the DLC later, which says a lot. I don't do that for just anything. So yeah, I'd say there's substance here, not just style. And 25% off again, matching its low, absolutely worth a look if you want something action heavy with a bit more bite than expected. Bomb Rusher Cyberfunk is 55% off right now, matching its lowest price, and if you're a Jet Set Radio fan, this one is basically a love letter. It's wild, it's weird, and that is half the fun. You're skating, flipping, tagging graffiti, collecting beats, and dodging cops, all in a hyper-stylized version of New Amsterdam that oozes style from every corner. The movement then is buttery smooth once it clicks, and chaining together tricks while tagging up a wall, it just feels right. The story then, utterly bonkers in the best way. You play as Red, a graffiti writer with a cybernetic head. You're teaming up with the Bomb Rush crew to go all city and uncover who literally decapitated you. So yeah, it's completely out there, but it fits that vibe perfectly. On top of this then, the soundtrack is quality, those visuals pop, and the whole thing feels like it was just made with pure passion. Space Marine 2 is 35% off right now in new low price, and honestly, one of the best action games I've played in recent memory. This thing just goes. You're constantly swarmed by enemies, and it gets absolutely chaotic in the best ways. The scale of the combat is wild, hundreds of Tyranids on screen, all rushing you, and the gameplay, It's chunky, it's deliberate, it's weighty. It kind of reminds me a lot of old school Gears of War, big hits, brutal executions, and zero downtime. Campaign's great solo then, but it really shines in co-op. Charging into a sea of enemies with 2 other Marines never gets old. And there's even a nice mix of kind of spectacle and almost grim, dark kind of Warhammer history to keep it pushing forward. The multiplayer, I'll be honest, didn't hook me. The PvP feels fine, but I struggle to find the staying power there. Still though, single player and co-op more than justify the price. Assassin's Creed Mirage is 60% off right now, matching its lowest price, and out of all of the recent AC games, I think this one might have surprised me the most. I'm actually deep into Shadows right now, really enjoying it, but Mirage brought something different and kind of refreshing. It's a smaller scale entry, sure, but that is by design. It's meant to almost be a throwback to the series' roots, and it nails that feeling. Tight parkour, proper stealth, a single dense city to explore. It's focused, confident, and it doesn't get distracted trying to be 10 things at once. Now you play as Basim, a street thief who gets caught up in the hidden ones, and slowly grows into a full-fledged assassin. Now it's set in the 9th century Baghdad, and the setting is genuinely stunning. Not just visually, but I think it feels alive. As is typical with the series, crowds are reacting to your movements, guards get suspicious, but it feels faster, and each district has its own kind of mood and personality. So look, I think with this one, it's less bloat, more intent, and if you bounced off the massive scale of Valhalla or Odyssey, even Shadows, this one might win you back. Overall, it's a solid entry and a great reminder of what made Assassin's Creed work in the first place. Cryptmaster is 20% off right now, matching its lowest price, and I played this one recently. It is a gem, no doubt, but also definitely an acquired taste. This is a weird, word-driven dungeon crawler where everything revolves around language. You literally type or speak to fight, explore, and solve puzzles. It sounds gimmicky, but it's surprisingly clever. The writing is sharp, the mechanics are unique, and the humor caught me off guard in the best way. It's weird, dark, and genuinely funny. Now you'll be playing as a band of undead heroes dragged back to life by the Cryptmaster, who is equal parts dungeon guide and chaotic menace. It's packed with strange quests, offbeat characters, and stuff like rap battles, fishing, and riddles that all tie back to the core mechanic, and that is finding the right words. It won't be for everyone, but if you're up for something totally different, this one's worth a look. Nobody Wants to Die is 50% off right now, matching its lowest price, and I actually did a full playthrough of this over on Game Corner, find that below, but this one's a slow burn, but honestly incredible. It's set in a noir-soaked New York at 2329, and the concept is instantly intriguing. It's a world where the wealthy can upload their consciousness and live forever. However, someone started murdering these mortals. Now you play as a detective with one foot in the grave, and you're trying to piece together this case, and basically the higher-ups around you, they don't want it solved, but expect to use tech that lets you literally rewind time at crime scenes. So yeah, it's part detective story, part kind of philosophical sci-fi, but it's full of moody cityscapes, moral ambiguity, and questions about what life and death actually mean in a world where nobody stays dead. The time manipulation mechanic is clever, and the pacing really leans into the genre. Expect atmosphere, not action. Visually as well, I gotta say, one of the best looking games I've played in a while. Unreal Engine 5 does some serious work here. Overall, it's smart, stylish, absolutely worth your time. If you're into narrative heavy games with some real weight, just know the pacing definitely on the slow side. Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn is 60% off right now. I played this one recently. It's a Souls-light at heart, but the real standout is the combat. It's fast-paced, fluid, surprisingly stylish once you do get into that rhythm. The mix of melee, gunpowder, and magic gives it a real sense of momentum, and the movement genuinely fun. You're zipping around, chaining attacks, using verticality to your advantage, and it all just clicks in a way that feels great moment to moment. The story didn't do too much for me, and the writing leans a bit generic, but the world design makes up for it. There's a dark fantasy energy running through everything: undead armies, crumbling cities, angry gods, and it builds a solid backdrop for that action. You've also got a fox-like companion, Enki, who adds magic to your kit and helps in both traversal and combat. So yeah, this one, it's a fun, dynamic adventure game, Souls-light, whatever you want to call it, even if the emotional beats, they don't quite land. So yeah, not the deepest narrative, combat, absolutely worth showing up for. Pacific Drive is 40% off right now. Now, not its lowest price ever, to be transparent, but I wanted to show it some love anyway. I actually reviewed it, find that link below. But yeah, they just announced a major DLC, so I thought it was a great time to bring it up. Might be a good time to jump in. It is a first-person driving survival game where your car is basically your lifeline. You're venturing into a warped version of the Pacific Northwest, a place full of anomalies, strange tech, and full-blown supernatural chaos. Trying to survive is really the name of the game here, and it definitely makes it difficult. You gotta try and do these journeys and make it back with resources and answers. The core loop, though, is brilliant. Load up your station wagon, plan your route, hit the zone, and pray you make it back in one piece. Between deadly storms, mechanical breakdowns, and absolute weirdness, every run feels like its own little story, and the garage back at base becomes this evolving hub as you scavenge, upgrade, and prep for that next trip. Now look, transparently, it can be clunky at times. The tutorials, for example, not great. You kind of left to figure out a lot of the mechanics on your own, I guess. But once it clicks, it really clicks. There's a unique rhythm to the game that's unlike anything else out there right now. So yeah, not perfect basically, but incredibly memorable and well worth sticking with. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon is 40% off right now, matching its lowest price, and this is From Software doing what they do best, just in mech form. It's fast, it's aggressive, it's a different kind of challenge than Souls fans might be used to, but no less intense. Now you're piloting highly customizable mechs through massive open battlefields, darting through the air, unloading missiles, and weaving in and out of danger with lightning speed. It is chaos, but controlled chaos. The customization, though, is where it really shines. Swapping out parts doesn't just tweak stats, it transforms how your mech moves, fights, and feels. Every mission then becomes a little puzzle. What build gets the job done? Heavy tank, speedy skirmisher, something weird in between. The boss fights are brutal and brilliantly designed, huge mechanical set pieces. They just demand precision, planning, and some serious reflexes. So yeah, it's very much a FromSoft game, just wearing a different coat of paint. If you've ever wanted to be the deadliest thing on two giant legs, so yeah, this is definitely a game that gives you that moment. And that is the video done. What are you adding to the library? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you picked up anything already so far as well. Now, I'll be covering more from this sale over the next few days, so do watch out for that. I've also got a special preview of the Precinct coming up, plus a review of Karma on PS5. If you did enjoy this and want more like it, though, do me a favor, hit subscribe. That helps out the channel a ton. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll catch you all on the next video. Cheers all.